You may replace these with socket head cap screws. Shouldn't really be Phillips screws on a piece of machinery. Turns without rubbing anything. Oops, just like that. Okay. And this is the top wheel I'm installing. This contains the belt tensioning device. I've got to squeeze that down somehow. It's one of those things that's always easier to take apart than put together. We'll use my frame saw, the Bushcrafting frame saw here. Use the cord and the, I guess the toggle, whatever you want to call it, from that. Okay. I think this will work. Tie it down far enough? Oh yeah. Now if I can put this in without bonking myself, throwing that stick out of there, well, I'd have to put the string in the paracord in the way, wouldn't I? This is a shoulder bolt, so when I get it tight, it's not tightening this piece, it's just tight down against the shaft. The shoulder goes through a larger hole in here and tightens down against the shaft. Okay, that's installed. Paracord's a handy bit of kit. Install the new platen. Of course, the one thing that I haven't tested is if this motor is strong enough to pull the belt across this platen if the belt's rubbing up against the platen. I could very well get to the end of this project and discover why they designed it this way, so they could get away with using a third horse motor instead of a half horse motor, or whatever it is. If this company says it's a third horse motor, we're probably lucky if it's a quarter horse. Huh, that's phenomenal. I noticed the hex isn't formed in there. Let me get a pick. That's not a pick. I wonder if that's just debris in there. Oh, good. It is. It's where it had an unformed screw. How did he get all those bolts to line up so perfectly? Well, it's from drilling all the holes at the same time through both parts. In case you're coming into this video without watching the earlier episodes. Just basic craftsmanship. I think I have all of these ever so slightly below the surface. By the way, this is a good quality Bondhouse wrench. This has got some piece of Chinese junk. You can really torque on a fastener with them. Awesome. I think I was successful. I don't think any of those are... might be just a little bit above the surface there. Just polish the top off of that screw. Sweet. All of this work mostly to do this. But as you go through something, you see more and more things that can be improved. It's hard not to do the job all the way right. Very good. Here's the fasteners coming through on the inside. I purposely got fasteners long enough that I could put lock nuts on them if I wanted to, just in case I had a problem with them loosening up. I don't think I'll have a problem with that though. Here's more detail about how the tensioning mechanism works. The tracking adjustment here I've assembled looks perfectly normal, but I've actually put it together upside down purposely. The knob used to be down here, and it would ride hard against this tab and compress the spring, and the spring would always keep the shaft tight. But this knob was hard to work down here. I've put it up on top. It's threaded in the same place, compresses the spring in the same way, and then down here I have a washer and a nut. So now I have better access to the knob. Now I don't like this tiny little thumb wheel. It still takes quite a bit of grip to function it, and so I'm going to look for a 6mm thumb wheel that's got a little bigger head on it, possibly a longer one. The belt comes off of the tool in this direction, and maybe it would be in the way of some grinding if I had it up here, but it just seems like if it was up here where you could get a good grip on it, that it would be so much easier to use. So there's a nifty modification if you own a Harbor Freight 36-inch belt, 6-inch disc sander. This is a Bench Pro brand tool, but it's identical apparently in every way to a Harbor Freight tool, with only one minor exception, which I'll show when it's complete.